Thank you for taking the time. I'm glad to see people still coming in. That makes me happy. Nothing worse than speaking to an empty room, so long time ago. But I'm happy to say my 30-year anniversary in this industry is coming up in May. So been at this a long time. To me, it's part of my life, right? So I'm not as young as I used to be, but HVAC has been more than half my life in the industry. So I appreciate what you guys do every day, and I'm here to help you, okay? So thanks for coming. Like you said, measureQuick, ACA QI, together make something pretty magical happen for our industry. Show of hands in the room, who's using measureQuick now in their business? Okay, about half. How many are ACA members? Less than a quarter. Okay, good. At least I know, gauge the room here. So I'll get started. If you need any of my information, my cell phone's there, my email addresses. I've got multiple. I do a lot of different things. So if you want to screenshot that, feel free. Come see me at the measureQuick booth or ACA booth the rest of the week. I'll be here till the end of day Saturday. So I have a story for you. Probably thinking, why am I looking at a car? I used to have a Volkswagen GTI, and I took it in to get service on it, oil change, and a tire repair. And as I was sitting in the waiting room, I get a text on my phone from the technician with a video overview of my car while I'm there for an oil change. I was like, that's pretty interesting. Shows me the tire where my nail was. Also described how he repairs a flat tire or a hole in a tire. Made sure to tell me that he patches it, not plugs it, does it the right way. Then walked around the bottom of my car, showed me the brakes, the exhaust, all the key components, and provided me that peace of mind that I felt, wow, that's a service I've never had before. Because there's this element of transparency that I would not have expected to know about my vehicle other than the fact that I just get in and drive it, right? So why do I tell you this story? I'll go back to this dealer even with my Ford, even though it's a Volkswagen dealer, because my Ford dealer doesn't do that. So just think about that. That little bit of technology and that little bit of added value that they provided made me a customer for life. It had exceeded my expectations because I had never seen anything like that before. So the reason I tell you that story is I want you to think about, like, as HVAC contractors, what do we do to provide a similar experience? Because if we're all consumers in here, right? We all buy stuff. We all get services provided for us. We're not experts in everything, so sometimes we have to rely on auto mechanics or plumbers or whatever it is to get done in our life. So when you think about what the expectation is of service and value, when you notice something or experience something that's above and beyond your expectations, something happens. Because now you feel, well, I want that everywhere I go. And the unfortunate part is the majority doesn't do that. So when you think about our industry, what are we doing to align with that type of experience for our customers? So it gives you some ideas or thoughts to think about, should I be doing something like this to add a layer of transparency, to elevate value without a whole lot of heavy lifting? We all know, and we all get kind of numb to the idea of technology in our industry. It's forced down our throats. We hear about it constantly. Smart thermostats, smart this, smart that. You start to turn the ears off, right? But when technology can work to your advantage, that's where it makes sense in my mind. And I want you to kind of be open-minded to think about huh, maybe I could do something like this, right? But I like to start with, why should you care? As technicians, why should you care? As owners, why should you care? Why should your installers care, your salespeople care? Why should the homeowner care about anything you're doing? Whether it's technology and what I talk about with measureQuick and ACA QI today, or anything that you're doing in your business, I want you to think about why you should care about it, right? How many in here are owners? Okay, good amount. Technicians? Okay. Sales? You're everything? This is my interpretation of each key person in a business, or each key person in your day. Owner persona, right? The ultimate decision maker, the visionary, the cruise director, right? They're setting the goal, they're setting the vision of what we're supposed to do for the business. So they have different things on their mind that they care about. So anything that gets done in the business has to align with this, right? Does that make sense? The owners in the room, did I catch you? This is you? Good. Comfort advisors or salespeople, they're motivated differently. They care about different things. So anything we do in the business, if it's implementing technology, if it's changing processes, if it's doing different things, it affects everyone in the company in different ways. So understanding what's in their DNA will help navigate the change. Because what we're going to talk about is change. I believe in 3 core principles: accountability, change, and execution, ACE. Those are 3 things that I care about. Because what we're talking about today with ACA QI and measureQuick is going to put you in that position of having to go through that process. And I would encourage you to all explore it and keep an open mind. Technicians. I ran a home service company. I've sat at the kitchen table. I've done a lot of different things in this industry. I had 20 technicians. I think I've got them pegged pretty good. What do you guys think? Am I close? I think technicians really want to do good work. I think they actually care about what the customer thinks. I've also met some that just want to punch a clock and go home at the end of the day. I don't think that's any of you in the room, because you're here for a reason. You want to be better. You want to be better than your competitors. You want to be better than the industry, and that's why you're here. But that's how I see you. Now we got the homeowner, the holder of the money. Without them, nothing happens, right? If they don't call, there's no work. If they don't see value, they don't want to pay. To get the profit and the sales that you deserve, you have to add value, because that's what they expect. Anybody disagree with any of this? Does it sound about right? So it helps to understand, no matter what we do, because it's very easy to say we do the best installs. Anyone in here say that? It should be everybody. We do the best work. We're the best in the business. We do the best things. I hope you say that. Because the homeowner is expecting you to say that, because they're about to give you $15,000 or $20,000 for an install. It better be value packed. Because they already don't like us as an industry. If you've ever seen Dateline NBC, they've pretty much proven the point, right? Go down, clank on the furnace, think I did some work, and now give them a bill. They're on to us. It's not going away. The scary thing is, I'm coming up on 30 years in the industry. Guess what? It hasn't really changed much. Everything I see today, yeah, we've had some technology advances and communicating equipment, VRF, all that fancy stuff. But the way we do things is still the same as we've always done. For those of you that are in your 30s, you haven't seen what I've seen, but I'll tell you, it's not much different, right? So how do we connect the dots to deliver the best value for the customer? So we know what the customer wants. We know what they're about. But we also know everyone else in the company that we have to bring along for the ride. Any of you, I'm sure, have had to implement change in your business, whether it's change in process, change in software? Show of hands. Who's had to go through that? Keep your hands up if it was easy. Okay. It was easy for you? Yeah. I said, hands up.
Because I was the one that was doing all the testing for it.
Yeah, cool.
So I got to make all those steps.
That's good. You're one. Change isn't easy, is what I'm getting at. So no matter what you do, hopefully this little exercise helps you just kind of look at it through a different lens. Because anytime I've had to implement change, there's always this resistance. And in my early days, I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why my technicians would sabotage me when I walk out of the room. Any great idea I had was worthless the minute I left the room because they didn't want to do it. Because I didn't understand them. I didn't understand their why, what gets them up every day, why they actually do the job, right? So that helps connect the dots. But I want to talk about cars again because I'm a car guy and I love cars. And I also want to point out a few things here. These are kind of out of the order, unfortunately. But let's talk about onboard diagnostics, 1994. That's pretty fancy. Anybody drive a car from 1994 with onboard diagnostics? You wouldn't think of it. Like, why would it matter? But why do you think the car manufacturers were doing it? They needed a better way to service vehicles, a more consistent way, predictable way, a way they could replicate identifying issues. Why? Because there's a customer involved that has to buy that car and live with it. And how do you build brand loyalty? You're building brand loyalty every day in your business. What do you think the automakers are doing? Thinking of GPS, connected cars, hybrid car technology, Bluetooth, automatic parking, driver assist, self-driving cars. Why do I even bore you with these details? When we look at the time, I mean, the first car in 1886. But think about, as you look at these features here, what do you think is going on in your mind saying, well, that's just a car. It just comes with it now. But why? What drove us to that point? And then think about, how does this tie to the HVAC industry that we know and love? Because we haven't advanced like this, have we? If we're still doing the same things we've always done, expecting different results, anyone know what that equals? Insanity, right? I'm not saying we're insane. I'm insane. But the key things that I take away from this example is the fact the automakers have done that to increase safety, reliability, efficiency, convenience, and peace of mind. How many of you use these same pieces of language in your value proposition to your customers? Show of hands. I see one in the back. Okay. I would say you're all trying to say this somehow, some way, right? Because how else would you differentiate from your competitors? That'd be pretty tough. Why do the automakers do it? Process and consistency. These are just byproducts to take care of what the customer needs and wants are. Does that make sense? Do we do this in our industry now? I don't know. I mean, the show of hands that I started out with, I would say no, we don't. because there's hundreds of thousands of contractors doing 100,000 different ways. But the homeowner's still the same. So why in the heck would we do that? We just do, because it's what we learned. It's what we know. It's what we were taught. I'm just trying to bring some reality moment here of an industry that's very similar to ours, that a consumer deals with every day. So if we're not aligned with other things that they experience in their life, we're not actually on the same page with them on what they expect. Yeah.
Yeah, mechanics were give a lot of pushback about that process because they lost their ability to be creative and unique and be different from somebody else because it was a standard process. You put on a computer, it's on the answer, and they really didn't like it.
Yeah. That's a great point, Joe. When you think about adopting scan tools, anyone here use a scan tool in their car before? Yeah. Think about young, or actually old school technicians now have to use a scan tool, plug it into a machine to tell them all this expertise that they're very proud of having their entire career. Now I have to have a computer tell me? There's animosity there, right? To Joe's point, that change was not welcome, but it's the standard today, isn't it? You can't take your relatively new car to a dealership without them plugging it in and then providing you. The key word is transparency of what's wrong. Transparency. If there's one word that you take out of this room after this session is transparency. I want you to think about that and what it means to you. Okay? Well, let's talk about callbacks. It's everyone's favorite topic. Anyone who's got callbacks past 5%? Who knows their callback rate? All right, so 2 people know their callback rate. You have 0 callbacks? Okay. Well, you can prove it to me. You got the data, buddy. For those that don't know or don't track it, I would encourage you, start doing the right things so that you don't have any. Be like this guy. 0 callbacks. Callbacks are a killer, and I know this is hard to see here, but a 5% callback rate in this particular example is costing that business over $100,000 in loss. That's a couple salaries in a business, isn't it? That could be the difference of hiring new technicians to expand and grow your business. If you don't have this under control, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you're not tracking, figure out how to track it. If you can't figure out how to track it, do measureQuick and ACA QI, because that's the only way that I know how to mitigate that. Is there a world with 0 callbacks? There's one guy that does, lives in that world. But there's the human element can be corrected. I can't help what the manufacturer does to your equipment. Those don't count, right? But the human error part of this can be controlled, and that should be something that you guys should flood our booths after this week and make sure that you're getting involved, because there's the show of hands showed me there's a lot of opportunity for you guys to walk away from here with a ton of value. So measureQuick. It's a smart tool. It's an app that is used for commissioning. It becomes your process. We talked about processes from the automotive side, right? If you need to have a process on how to do proper installations and not have any callbacks, that's the only way I know how to do it, because it'll tell me if I did it right. What's better yet, I now have consistency, the other automotive example, to every technician doing it the same way. Because I know you all have a variety of technicians in your business, and you all do it the way you do it. So if you're in a company full of 10 technicians, guess what? I bet you there's 10 different ways that's getting done. But if I have a single homeowner expecting what I showed you, guess what? We're not delivering on our promise. So standardization is good. Would you agree? Anybody disagree that standardization is not good? Okay, that's a good answer. So measureQuick is a way to get that done. It's an app that works with Bluetooth smart tools and will allow you to fully commission heating and air conditioning system and mimic a lot of the things you're already doing. I believe that you all are doing good quality work. But when it comes to consistency and a process, that's where there's opportunity, especially if you're at risk of callbacks. I don't want to see that happen to any one of you. It's hard enough to make money in this industry. It's hard enough to build your reputation and then have it squashed because of a bad customer experience because I didn't have a process in place. So when I look at our vital score for measureQuick, this is a report card. You'll notice this is an 8. We rank it A through F, just like school. You think people like to be C and D students? You think the homeowner likes to see a C or a D on how their system is performing or how their installation was done? I hope not. Because I just had to open that wallet and pay you $20,000 for that install. It better be an A+. But how do we prove it? How do we prove that we do this? How do you prove it today? Leave them with a commissioning or checklist that you scribbled on with a pencil and maybe say, it's all good, Mrs. Jones. You're all set. We did a great job. House is nice and cool. If that's their only indicator and they just gave you half of a purchase of a car, you think there's buyer's remorse? Because we all know they only look at that equipment the first day after you installed it to make sure they got something that looks new. After that, it's out of sight, out of mind until it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, it costs you a ton of money to go back because you can't charge the customer. And how do they feel now if they don't have any peace of mind or transparency to know that what they paid for, they got? Because we're all consumers. When you buy something that is expensive, what is your expectation? That it's awesome, right? What if it's not awesome? You're disappointed. And you probably wouldn't buy it again. And that brand goes on the naughty list. And you'll tell your friends, don't buy that. See what's happening here? This becomes a train you can't stop. So if you do the right things, put the processes in place, use the right tools, the right technology, ooh, scary word, technology. Imagine how your homeowner customer will feel if this is what you're able to provide them on every installation you do, every maintenance visit that you go to, every service and repair call that you go to, and you can provide them the transparency, just like my car experience that I shared with you earlier. Would that be meaningful? Show of hands think that this is awesome. You don't have to make me feel good, but be honest. So it was a resounding yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I really believe in this. I didn't have measureQuick when I was running my business. I was at the mercy of the same old industry that we've known up until this point. I probably could have raised my price. I probably could have made more profit. I could have held my guys more accountable because I know that they're all doing it the same way and providing the same value every single time. And callbacks would be gone. So I wouldn't be at risk of that $100,000 kick in the pants. So what happens if you do nothing? We lose customers, right? This is a participant session here. Tell me, what happens if you do nothing? Nothing changes. Who wants to grow their business? Who wants to be the best? I would assume all of you do, or else you wouldn't be here. So if we do nothing, there is no North Star, right? To me, doing nothing means you're at risk. You're at risk of losing. Because the industry will change, and you either change with it or you're going to go backwards. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's nothing new. I'm here to help you avoid that. Shed some light on it. Add some things to your day-to-day that aren't a big ask to do, but that'll provide you a ton of value and a ton of prosperity in your business. Everyone know what ACCA is? Air Conditioning Contractors of America, right? If you've been doing this long enough, you'll know that if you could prove what you do, I think that's a game changer, right? If I can prove that I did the best installation, provide my homeowner a certificate that says so, what do you think that does? Confidence, peace of mind, value, right? Because, yes, sir?
Is that like an actual, what certification like looks like?
Yeah. So you now have the ability in measureQuick to generate an ACCA Quality Installation Certificate for your customer. To prove it, that you did the best job. We no longer have to just say it. We can actually live up to it and produce the result. I feel that's game-changing in our industry because we haven't been able to do that up until this point. It's take our word for it, Mrs. Smith. We train our guys. We're Nate this. We're this, that. It doesn't mean squat unless you can prove that you actually did something with third-party verified way to do it. So if anyone's scared about technology, everyone here have a cell phone, right? Or else you probably couldn't find your way to Kalos today, right? So that being said, it's not scary anymore. We live with it every day. The younger folks in the room, you were born on technology. This should be a walk in the park. Some of the senior crews out there, it's a little painful, I'm not going to lie, because we have to change the way you think. I know you're proud in what you've learned and what you do. We're just here to help. We're not here to replace you. We're here to enhance what you do. So just think about that. So we have two different QI certificates that you can generate inside of measureQuick and raise the bar in your market. Who likes competitors in their market? Well, good competitors.
Bad competitors certainly make you money.
Yeah. But there's also the competitors that they keep that customer captive and you never got an opportunity to get in the door and they got them for 25 grand. Right? But we all say, oh, they're easy to compete against because I'm 2,000 lower, 5,000 lower, right? They just outvalued you and never let you in the door. That happens in every market. You know who they are. But when you're out in your marketplace, you know who your key competitors are, even your good competitors or bad competitors. How do you differentiate yourself other than words on a website or talking about it at the kitchen counter? There really is no other way. You just tell the story. We've got 1 million years experience. We do all this so many hours of training. Okay, what does that mean? We'll do extended warranties guaranteed. So, okay, what does it mean? It still doesn't guarantee that you did a good install at my house because if you get a callback, anyone know the average cost of a callback? That's big, yeah. Can be as low as 400, but that better be like a drive-by. But $2,500 every time there's a callback. If you think about or track how many callbacks you have a week, a month, a year, it'll make you sick. That's why we're doing this stuff. I don't want to see you at risk. There's easy ways to solve the problem. ACA QI puts you at the top of your class. Anyone that comes to HVAC Symposium wants to be top of the class, or else you wouldn't be here. Plain simple. You would not invest the time to come here. I'm from Philadelphia. I invested the time to come here because I want to help you guys. Right? So get involved. Now, what do these mean? Verified equipment operation, verified system performance. Verified system performance is going to take you through a very comprehensive exam of the home or commissioning process of the home, versus verified equipment operation is pretty much what you would do in measureQuick every single day. So those of you that are using measureQuick, you're already doing the work. Just go the extra step and get the certificate. Give your customer that value so you can raise your price, be more profitable. Give your teammates pride in what they do. Hey, we do things to the top standard in the industry. Industry standards? What are they? Do they exist? Well, we can make them exist. Yes, sir.
To me, I think everybody in this room might appreciate the ACA QI at any level. But at the end of the day, for us to differentiate ourselves from the competition, the homeowners, the customers that are writing those checks have to understand what that means.
Yep.
And I just don't know if the homeowner or homeowners know what does that mean, because it could be just a certificate that they print up online and not have any value to it.
Mm-hmm.
So also with that, does your certificate include that it's an Energy Star verified HVAC installation?
Yeah.
Brian, can you repeat this question? You repeat some.
Question was, basically, why should the homeowner care? What are we doing to generate interest at the homeowner level so that as the folks in this room get involved with QI, that it's an easier way to present? Verified equipment operation, this is your way to convey value on your website, in your sales process, every installation. Set an expectation with your customer that we do everything to the highest standard in the industry. Who remembers ASC certified technicians for cars, right? Who's NATE certified here for HVAC? Okay. NATE's tough to talk about. Homeowner doesn't know what it means. They don't care.
I care if my technicians have it because it tells me that they took the extra time and effort to better themselves. Just
Yep.
like ASC, Master Mechanic,
Yeah.
Toyota, all that.
Yep.
It tells me who's involved in themselves.
Yep. So this is a way for the company to row in the same direction and just put a key process in place and also convey value to the homeowner. I would love it if it sold itself, but it doesn't. That's where you come in. We have to, as an industry, as a community, start driving this message to set the expectation for the homeowner. Because if someone else sets the expectation, that's probably not going to be a good thing, because you're going to be forced to go somewhere that you don't want to go. So this is your opportunity to be at the forefront of something that can reap you a ton of reward. There's a lot of words on this screen. If you want to understand more about ACA QI, measureQuick, please come and see us. We're here all week. We're here to help you get involved. And it's very simple to get involved in this. So how do we get to success? Well, let's build the value proposition. So I'm going to ask for some participation. Based on what you've learned so far today, what key words do you think should be the value around measureQuick and ACA QI? If you had to present this to a customer, what are some key takeaways that you have that you could say, well, quality checks, transparency, proof, prove it, third-party verification, okay. What else? Consistency. Homeowner doesn't care about that.
Like a baseline measurement, so you can see kind of where the system is headed. in future, like future visits?
What I see is a big billboard on the highway that says we do the best installations and we can prove it. How do you think that's going to upset the rest of your competitors in your market? That's going to make them pretty mad because now you're the authority on what to expect. But value, part of the value proposition, peace of mind for the customer. You think they'd get peace of mind knowing that you did something in their best interest that they didn't even know that they needed? You're over-delivering then on your promise. Did you ever hear the term under-promise and over-deliver? This is your opportunity to do that. Because they hired you to put a new heating and cooling system in their house, but what they don't expect is that you're going to do it to a level that they've never expected. A level that protects their investment. That's another value driver, right? We want to protect your investment, Mrs. Smith, because this stuff costs a lot of money. The old statistics that I knew is the average homeowner buys 1.5 HVAC systems in a lifetime. So when you think about that, the amount of homes you go into, huh?
These days it's got to be more than that.
They're not sticking around in their homes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when you think about it, they may have never had to buy an HVAC system, and man, their luck ran out that day. So now they're here, and they have no expectation of price. They can do an internet search and get close. But when you walk in, I know from doing estimating, and I walk through the house, and first thing I would say, Mrs. Smith, what's your budget? Like, what's your expectation for this job? Oh, I think like, I don't know, 6,000? Okay, well, I got to go. Or you have to set the expectation. And when you tell them it's usually between 12 and 20,000, anyone who's had that conversation knows what happens, right? Oh, that's more than I thought. Who here offers financing? Okay, I'd like to see more do that, but you get the point. If you don't offer a solution, there's no sale, right? If I come back here next year and ask that same question, I hope it's the whole room that says yes. And I hope it's the whole room that's driving value in the way we're talking about. What other items could we have up there for value? Like what rolls off the tongue and makes it comfortable for you to talk about this to a customer? Because I want you to have the key words to say when you leave here in about 10 minutes. Because I want you to think about it. This is game changing. You came here to learn new things to change your business. This is ensuring comfort, right? You can make it that. That's an actual promise you can make, isn't it? Can you promise that now without third-party verification and proof?
Yeah, you can make a promise.
Oh, yeah. Can't prove it, though, right? Unless you follow me to my booth after this. So think about it. Peace of mind, transparency. Mrs. Jones, we provide the highest level of transparency. We use third-party software to make sure that when we do your installation, it is 100% done the proper way. All of my technicians follow the same process. So when we come out and do maintenance for you for the rest of your life, we're going to show you with transparency that we're doing the right job every time we're here so that you want to be a maintenance customer with us forever. We want a forever relationship with you. You can't ask for that today because you can't deliver on it. Am I right? We think we can and we want to, and we try to, and we're putting our best effort forward, but without putting the right things in place, we actually can't deliver on the promises that we make a lot of times. I'm here to get you off the hook. I'm here to make it easy to make promises and over-deliver on them, satisfy your customer, get the profits you deserve, and win. Because if you don't win, you lose. That's how it works. You either sell it or you don't. You either have a callback or you don't. You either lose a customer or you don't. How many in here have service agreements? That's a good number. How many lose service agreements? Most of you should, because it's usually about 30%. So they either die, they move, or they don't like you anymore. When they don't like you anymore, that means you didn't provide value and why they should stay. I think I got some ways to fix that, right? Because if you could keep the third that you're losing, you're winning. And you win twice because they actually refer you to their friends and family because of how delighted they were of the value you gave them. So think about that stuff. I know my presentation wasn't technical, and there's a lot of technical presentations here. This was more to provoke thought and give you folks some things to think about when you leave here, and hopefully you find it valuable and want to talk further about it. So we got 5 minutes left. Fire away some questions. Let's fill this room up with some questions. Yes?
Now, granted, it gives you the certificate. You don't have to do the air balance test if you're only changing out the system, but the duct system is the lungs of the equipment. So if the duct system is subpar, maybe your customer doesn't have the financial means to make that, then they just invested into what you promised you could certify, now can no longer be certified because it's not operating to its performance requirements.
So let me go back.
And then it's only going to give me the minimum instead of the...
You could likely still achieve verified equipment operation, which is still above and beyond the norm, but not be able to provide the verified system performance. Now, where I see that as an opportunity, so if you're one of the few in the room that offer financing, well, maybe that $5,000 duct upgrade to achieve that, in their mind, is worth it.
If you can't upgrade the ductwork, like you're up in the attic and you're running ductwork downstairs on the main floor,
Yep.
impossible.
And retrofits, you're busting out walls or
Yeah.
whatever, it's cutting up floors.
The reality is, ductwork can't be solved easily, right? We all know that. It's one of the hardest upgrades or modifications to get a homeowner to invest in because they don't understand why they need it in the first place. Because if they were comfortable before you got there, why should I pay? You will have some people, though, that have comfort issues and will go to any extent for you to fix it. And those are the best customers, right? But at a minimum, we can usually achieve this, the verified equipment operation, and that still provides that highest level of value to the customer.
If you had to put a price point on this, how much value would you say brings to one job?
I'd say at least 20% premium at a minimum.
And how much is it to do this?
Quality install certificates start at $30, go up to $50
Is that
per
per system?
system.
Is there an initial cost?
Nope. Nope. That's actually your qubits are included in these certificates.
That you have to have the measure.
You have to use measureQuick. That's the verification tool.
And you can get all the way up to that in the free version, right? But then you have to pay the qubits for the system to actually get the certificate.
To get the certificate and the pro report as well.
Get all the measurements and stuff.
You can get measurements in real time, but you can't convey it to the homeowner. Yeah, can't save it. So I'm out of time. Thank you so much. I'm Brian Feenie. Come see me.
Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, HVACRschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community. For techs, by techs.